Kevin Ratcliffe and Graham Sharp played in all 8 of Everton's matches at Wembley between 1984 and 1987. Pat Nevin was a winner here with Chelsea 3 years ago in this very competition. Tony Cottee, twice dropped recently, keeps the number 10 shirt at the expense of Wayne Clark, who's a substitute along with Stuart McCall. Forest bring back to Wembley the same 11 who lifted the Littlewoods Cup from Luton's grasp, 3 of whom, Stuart Pearce, Des Walker and Neil Webb, were out here in England colours last Wednesday. Steve Chettle joined on the bench this time by a fit-again Franz Carr. Well, broken up by Webb, got a lucky ricochet as well to find Hodge. And now Parker. Steve Hodge loves to get forward from midfield, and this is a typical run which Trevor Steven was aware of. Steven went with him. Pearce. This is Gary Parker, and Forest have a lot of players in the centre. As Parker tries to deliver a cross, and it might reach Neil Webb here. Nicely done by Walker to find Pearce. Clough dropping deep again, but Everton well aware of that, and they've got Cottee on a run through the centre here. It's Tony Cottee for Everton! Starting a match at Wembley for the first time, and it's only taken him 8 minutes to make his mark. He came here in 1980 as a West Ham supporter and stood behind the goal into which he's now scored a very important goal for Everton. Now Webb, a strike is on. Neil Webb hasn't scored quite as many goals as he would. Here's Laws. Webb. Ratcliffe is quick enough, but Webb did enough pressing to make Kevin Ratcliffe have the final touch. And to give Forest a corner. Chapman. Parker! 1-1. And Gary Parker, whose first goal for Nottingham Forest was against Everton at the turn of the year, and really from that point on he's been collecting them with great regularity. And he was in the right spot, although it took a couple of deflections along the way to pull Nottingham Forest level here. Southall got to it but couldn't keep it out. Challenge back, and here's Webb lengthening the stride. Parker, who got a yard inside McDonald but couldn't take the ball in his stride. McDonald recovered. (1-1), and if it stays that way after 90 minutes, we would have extra time. Sheedy. And Sharp, will he reach it? He will! Well, a very spectacular strike. Impassive, the Everton manager. But it's the same problem for Nottingham Forest. The ball looped in behind their back line, and an Everton boot first to it. And the boot belonging to Sharp made superb contact. It flashed past Steve Sutton. Forest might yet make something of it, and Sheedy's foul. And this time, if Nigel Clough had lost his temper, he regained it very quickly, and he might just have been saying that it was Sheedy's first foul. It was all because of Pat Vandenhouwe's mistake. And if Clough spoke in Sheedy's defence then, again, you can't praise Nigel Clough too highly. Gaynor. Parker. Here's Webb. Clough. It'll run for Wilson. Webb. Pearce available again. And Parker outside him. 4 in red in the penalty area. But here's Pearce with one of his specialities. Really can spring on here. This is Parker. Gainer up with him. And Clough, but Parker's going all the way himself. It's a terrific goal. A wonderful run. A second ago, Everton were on the Forest line. But we know that Brian Clough's team is geared to counter-attack. But how often do you see a goal like that? Especially in a final. Well, Parker was considering 1 or 2 other options here until he realised that the goal was there for the taking if he went on, which he did, and threaded it under Southall. It's Everton 2, Nottingham Forest 2, Gary Parker 2.
He's inside his own box as he starts his run. But watch for the first-time ball by Nigel Clough there. Absolutely perfect. And again, it's the Forest counter-attacking style that catches Everton wide open.
And here's the man of the moment. They can't stop him. Gainer! Well, it wouldn't have mattered had it crossed the line. 89 Simod Cup final. And listen to the applause and appreciation for the efforts and the skills shown over the 90 minutes. Graham Sharp, a second-half scorer, to make it 2-1 to Everton before Gary Parker galloped away for an astonishing second equaliser. Back to him by Webb. Got Chapman to the right, and he's free, and the pass didn't really invite him to go on at goal. Chapman, he can put Forest in front here, and he's done it. They lead for the first time in this final, 2 minutes into extra time. Southall came out, and Chapman, calm as you like, flipped it over him. Forest third goal, Nigel Clough with a brilliant pass that opened up Everton for Lee Chapman. And Howe, and it's Forest turn to back pedal. Nevin will keep it in play. It's a fine cross, Cutty! Everton are back in it again. Well retrieved by Nevin, delightfully delivered over Wilson, and Cotty placed the header to perfection. That little nudge on from Sheedy wrong-footed Pearce for a moment, and he couldn't stop Nevin whipping the ball in. And Forest couldn't stop Cotty beating Sutton. My word! Steve Sutton looks skywards, and thanks some divine help perhaps, Sutton did very well to stop Sharp's shot or push it up onto the bar, and then as Cotty followed in, Sutton somehow stopped his momentum, and you thought he must carry the ball in, but he didn't. Chapman. Webb. And Carr is onside with a clear run at goal. Chapman! Does that mean the Simod Cup for Nottingham Forest? It should do. left of extra time. And Chapman joins the list of 2-goal men in this match. Everton 3, Nottingham Forest 4. A rip-roaring final. Forest have won it. 2 goals from Chapman and 2 from Parker have secured the Simod Cup at the expense of Everton in a fabulous final. Brian Clough keeps his emotions under control as he did here 3 weeks ago. But the man who was so irritated by his 9 years without a trophy now has 2 to celebrate in 3 weeks. Everton have been gallant in defeat, but they have played a great part. From manager to the captain, and Brian Clough himself is leading them up the steps. Always the man to do it the different way, but no one will begrudge him his moment here. Is he going to get the trophy from Ted Croker? Well, it's a presentation, perhaps not just for today, but for all he's done for football and for Nottingham Forest. I think that's a photograph that you'll see in the papers tomorrow and for a long time to come. The day the manager went up at Wembley. Clough with the look of a young man who can hardly believe the nature of the game he's just played in. And it will take some believing. But with the souvenirs of a special day, a Simod Cup day, Brian Clough will eventually